So per your resume, I see you were a part of Once Upon a Mattress, which is a comedic version of The Princess and the Pea. So I think it looks like you were just part of the ensemble. So you're kind of like the background characters, right?
Yeah. So I was in Once Upon a Mattress. I was mostly ensemble, but I did have a small part. I was one of the maidservants to help, basically the princess to get ready. But also the best part, there is a moment where my character has a nervous breakdown and I'm just laughing so hysterically. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm going to die. Absolutely. And then I scream, die! And everyone's just laughing their asses off.
During this last season, we've seen a lot of changes, not only to the show, but even us. Personally, I'd say the season had two common themes. AI, don't roll your eyes at me, Eldurrino, and networking. At this point, AI is still in its infant stages. A true AI is devoid of feelings and slips up in structuring of a sentence, which makes the listener pick up on those inconsistencies and ultimately tune out. Although the community as a whole needs to be very careful using sites that mimic your voice, because hidden in the terms of service, you may be giving them the right to use what you have recorded for their gain. Finally, voice actors should be aware of those AI training gigs, because we could potentially train ourselves out of some work. Our listeners got a small taste of the AI training voice my company used to train us. That 80+ hours could have gone to a voice actor, and it could have created a more engaging training instead of triggering our auditory uncanny valley. Now for networking. Many of our guests pointed out this year the importance of networking. While I admit I'm terrible at the process, and that the mere thought of it makes me want to break into a cold sweat, we learned that so many opportunities are found in being able to conquer that fear. We learned that Facebook has groups dedicated to voice actors. You should totally join the Cold Read Facebook group, by the way. LinkedIn can be a great place to pick up work and communicate with people in the industry. People at conventions and common interests may have opportunities that are unexpected. Bottom line, take every opportunity to mention you do voice acting, because you never know where it'll pan out. Finally, to my two co-hosts, I'd say the biggest amount of change that came out of this whole show came out of you two. Renara, you opening up your consultation service, having people reach out, and you being able to turn that into something is absolutely incredible. Seeing you up on the panel with other voice actors, it was a very proud moment for me. And I do promise I'm going to watch the whole thing at some point, but I did get to see you do your introductions, and that was a great moment. Eldurrino, you've got a lot of balls in the air right now. Let's try that a different way. Eldurrino, you've got a ton of projects going right now. You've got demo recording. You've got consultation for services. You've got a list that you're trying to grow for the voice actors. And not to mention all of the hard work that you put in here when it comes to booking guests, or even just putting the damn show together. I only see bigger and better things for all of us here. And this is only like year 2.5 of this great journey. And I feel like we still have a very, very long way to go. So, for those of you that may not have been keeping up with the whole show, I give a particular code every episode where I'm now going to extend it to either Eldurrino services or Renara services for the first person to claim it. If you give the hashtag code to either of those two individuals and they share it with me, I will pay for $20 of your services with them. I don't know what that turns into pounds, Renara, I'm sorry. keep an ear out if you're looking to have a demo produced or consultation services. You might find a coupon code somewhere in this show. It's not at the beginning. It's not at the end. Okay, I've rambled for long enough. Everybody raise your water glass or whatever liquid that you have. Yes, Renara wine counts. A toast to the future and a toast to us. Let's get the show going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cold Read the Podcast, podcast for voice actors by voice actors. That was not me totally choking while I was drinking there. It's fine. There's a cough button for a reason on my console. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Cold Read the Podcast, show for voice actors by voice actors. I'm sure I said it, but I wasn't choking this time. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the close of season 5.
All right.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
Another season in the books.
I know, it's crazy. If you have any topic, anybody you want us to talk about or talk to, email us, coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com, or join our Discord. The link is going to be in the description. Come on in for the daily memes. Come talk to us. We've helped some people out, and we look forward to helping anybody else. If you have any audio or anything you're currently working on and you want us to listen to it, please drop it either in the Discord or email it to us. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to give you feedback. We are very constructive, and we have done it to each other in order for us to grow, and I feel like we have grown because of it. So don't be afraid. No. So, I know we were off last week. My apologies. That was due to a little thing that we had to do. Thank you so much, Jordan, for allowing us to reschedule you. And again, welcome to Jordan, our guest. We'll talk to you here in just a moment. But let's check in with everybody. Let's see how everybody's week has been. So, Renara, how are you doing? Hi.
It's been mountains and potholes this week, with maybe a smidgen of stressful flatland. Is how I like to put it, in the sense of like some really good things, and then all of a sudden absolutely panic, and then some nice things, and then panic, and then just living in a perpetual state of everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Mostly that's to do with like personal life and stuff like that. Main thing really is I've buggered me back a little bit. And I'm, for those who probably who watch but can't hit, who's watched it, never mind. Blair. I currently will likely be very still for today. Important, good things. I finished my monsters for Skywind. I literally had to give myself a 2-day break afterwards. My voice has now been dubbed the Forbidden Golem. So I apparently tapped into some Forbidden Golem, so that I'm trademarking that. No, I'm not.
Nice.
So that was fun. I am also going to be a judge for this year's MCM Creation ModCon for the writing contest. I have been asked to judge in that. So I will be, if anyone who is going to be, writing for that, I will be one of the judges who pick who wins, and likely will also voice the winning thing as well, like I did last year. So that's the thing. I'm excited for that. I have been, again, through networking, been offered to be a part of a law series. That's currently up in the air at the minute, thinking about, it's, again, an Elder Scrolls thing, so it's sort of to do with, like, law and books and things like that need voice work, so having a look at that. The other stuff I can't talk about because I'm under NDA.
Oh, yeah.
So there's stuff. No, there's stuff, guys, but I can't tell you it. But yeah, and also, finally, last little thing is I got offered a job that pays so much to the point of which I might be moving on to the next phase of my voice acting journey because I'll be able to afford stuff, guys. So I am looking forward to that. And seeing how everything goes, because I'll probably, hopefully, if all the references and everything go well, I will be starting over our break, and then when we come back, I can give updates as to how that's going. But other than that, that has been my week. Oh, and also, for those in the Discord, the reason why Fire was squished in behind a load of stuff was because we went to the beach, and there was not enough room. Unfortunately, Fire ended up being had to contend with being squashed in the back with a load of camping gear. So for those who want to check out that image, I think it is on the Discord somewhere in the meme section.
You get to see Fire and Brimstone's hand.
Yeah, we now know what his hand looks like. That's great. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, welcome, Renara. And for those of us that don't speak British, bugger just means messed up, right?
Oh, bugger just does mean it's sort of a light-hearted way of it probably is worse than I'm actually saying, but it's I'm putting a light spin on it.
So there was more context than I thought.
For all the US people out there, her back done got fucked up.
Yep.
There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you for translating, Eldurrino.
Well, thank you, Renara. Appreciate you being here. Dorino, how has your couple weeks been? Welcome back from vacation.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I missed a week because I was in Minnesota visiting family and friends, which was it was fantastic. It was really, really relaxing, very motivational. I was starting to kind of find myself in a little bit of a rut again, just because I'm not seeing the amount of success that I would like to. However, this vacation has really given me the opportunity to reflect on that and teach myself that I need to be more patient with myself. And so that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to have more patience overall, I guess, not just with myself, but with everything around me. I got to talk to my best friends, one of which is a pastor. I asked him to officiate the wedding between myself and my fiance.
Nice.
I asked my other best friend to be my best man. And then I also asked another friend that I have not really talked to a whole lot during my adult life, but he was like a huge part of my life when I was a teenager. I asked him to be one of my groomsmen. They all said yes, that they'd be more than happy. Thank God for that.
Right.
It would have been really awkward because they were all at the same table. I was like, we went out to dinner and they were all sitting at the table. I was like, all right, here's the deal. You're going to officiate. You're going to be my best man and you're going to be a groomsman. Good. All right, cool.
Would have sucked for like number 4 sitting there going like, oh, what about me? You didn't ask me to do anything.
No, it was, anyways. And then we did an escape room, which was really fun, really enjoyable.
I saw the picture, yeah.
Yeah, so I won't... If you want to know, if you see that picture on like my Twitter or Instagram or whatnot, if you want to know about the team name that we came up with being the Boulders, DM me and I will explain it because it's really cheesy, but it's also kind of funny.
The boulder is conflicted, sorry.
Yes, God damn it, Renara, you spoiled it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The boulder is extremely angry at this. Yes, it is a reference to Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. It's just the first thing that came to my head. I'm so sorry.
No, there's more to that story, so you can still ask about it later.
It's not completely spoiled. That's
correct.
Yeah,
but with that new sense of motivation, I guess, coming back, I was like, I gotta get myself back into like where I need to be, really. So really working on music stuff, really trying to work on mixing. But not only that, I have done so much voice acting this week. Like, I'm really surprised that my voice is in the shape that it is, because I have done a lot of yelling this week for a project that I'm a part of. I submitted for like bigger name rosters. I submitted for bigger name voice acting projects. Not necessarily, expecting to go through with it, but I need to start putting myself out there. I've been too enclosed in my bubble of self-doubt and whatnot, and I need to get out of it. So yeah, trying to put myself out there. And yeah, so that's what this week has been. Nice. And then lastly, I started playing a new game called Gunfire Reborn, I think. Hold on, let me pull up my Steam. Gunfire Reborn. It is a looter shooter roguelite game. Roguelike, rather. If you like roguelikes and if you like FPSs, play it. It is very addictive. Maybe I'm just good at choosing games that sucker me in to like play 100 hours, but I really like it. And I need people to play with. So, yeah. The end. How was your week or 2 weeks, Zamoody?
Well, as I mentioned, we were unfortunately off last week because my wife had her first sermon. As you all know, my wife is studying to be a minister. And finally starting to get, those invites. Unfortunately, we had to drive to Santa Clarita, which is 2.5 hours away from where I am. So there's no way I could make it back in time in order to do the show. So we were super happy. It was nice to see her up there. I was super proud. Earlier this week, we had a graduation. So our third, what we call our third child, which is my daughter's partner, graduated high school. So yeah, we now say we have a 17, an 18, and a 19-year-old in the house. Yeah. And let me show you pull back the curtain a little bit. You're going to see, my wife's study is now over here. So we now have kind of a common area. For those of you that are listening, I just pointed my camera over to her side, which is much pinker than my dark green. And as you can see, Bob has his own chair now behind me too.
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
So as far as voice acting goes, I'm still kind of doing the 10 hours a day plus the commute. And in all honesty, I'm not finding very much time to come behind the mic. I have one project that I'm working on that I can't discuss too much because take a shot. I'm also under NDA. From here on in, by the way, you take a shot every time you listen, you hear the word NDA, unless you're at work, in which case wait till later. Take a drink of your water.
I have to say I have to say real fast. I think we're becoming assholes because we're all dealing with the same thing, and we're just dangling in front of everybody. Sorry, can't talk about this right now. Just got a little secret project I'm working on.
Funny enough, somebody reached out for me for one of my Skyrim companions. And they want to do a continuation of him, which was the first one, as my Tomatarian. Apparently, they want to romance him, so I got a whole bunch of romance scripts that I need to do.
Please.
No.
Oh boy!
Apparently, somebody was asking for it, and the dude's like, "Yeah, sure, let me get in contact with him." And he sent me an email yesterday, and then I immediately got the scripts right after. So he seems excited to get it done.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I might download the damn mod now.
Okay. Well, we've gone on about ourselves way too much. Jordan Scarzfava? Oh gosh,
that's correct. Yes, you said it. Scarzfava.
Thank you.
Yay!
How has your week been before we get into your journey?
Okay, I am going to be completely honest. This week has been a massive emotional roller coaster for me. I don't want to go into too much details because it is a little heavy, but I will say this. I'm, speaking to people about it. I'm getting the help that I need, so hopefully things will work out for me in the end.
Yeah.
But also, for those of you who know, there was a wildfire in Nova Scotia, and some of that smoke kind of went into my area, and it's been really hard for me to breathe and, just try to deal with the stupid smells, so... There was that, but also I kind of was sick with a cold because my niece got sick with a cold, so it was just kind of a chain reaction sort of thing. Luckily, I am feeling a bit better. Still got a little bit of a headache, but I'm sure once I get a better sleep tonight, I'll be fine. But aside from that, and I do apologize in advance, my memory is not the greatest because I've been having a lot of anxiety and stress, which can kind of, get rid of that. But I've mostly just been, trying to get back on track with voice recordings because for the past couple of weeks, my sister was visiting me because they actually, live in Texas, but they were visiting for a couple of weeks to say hello to us. And I think there was there was a Taylor Swift concert that went on in our area. But, I didn't go to it because unfortunately it was way too big for me. So I decided to just stay home instead. But, the fact that, I had that opportunity to go was nice. I'm sure I can go to another one someday, just a smaller concert, because that's what I'm used to. But I did get my hair dyed and cut by my sister, which is what I wanted. And aside from that, I've just been, celebrating Pride Month and having a good time with my friends and also my girlfriend, Jazzy, who, by the way, is also a great voice actress. I recommend you check her out, Jazzy Oliver.
Oh, okay. Nice. Definitely look into that. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And we all understand those negative times. And if you need to reach out, I know some of us we are definitely here, and some of us are very familiar with those feelings. So I hope you get better soon.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So let's get into your journey. So how did you start with voice acting?
All right. So if I remember correctly, I had always liked the idea of doing silly character voices, like mainly from shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, Invader Zim. And I just found myself, doing those voices and reenacting those episodes a lot with my friends as a kid. Mm-hmm. But I never really knew until a certain point that it was a thing that anyone could just do. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, you have to have skill, but still, the fact that it was like something that you could pursue as a career, I was like, oh, okay. So I think it was around high school where, I saw like movies like Shrek 3rd. Don't judge me. I like that movie.
I like it too. But, no judgment here.
Yeah. When I found out that Justin Timberlake did one of the voices of the character, I was like, oh, that's a thing. Actual people, not just certain ones, can do that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I did a little bit of research on voiceovers. And actually, I should clarify, I did take theater before I decided to go for voiceovers.
Gotcha.
I've been doing it since the 7th grade. And I used to be like very, very afraid to be on stage for a long time. But by the time that I got to the 7th grade, my stage fright just went away and I started feeling more confident about myself, wanting to sing on stage and being out there more. So that did add to my experience with voiceovers. So I want to say it was at college where I took more theater classes as well as a speech class where it could help me to expand my range because back in the day, I always sounded just like this and didn't know how to go lower. And of course, you can tell that it sounds much lower to this day. But that happened. And, I've been watching some YouTube videos, following a few voiceover friends that are now, my friends today. And this was back in 2013, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was 2013.
Okay.
Earlier this year, back in April, it was my 10-year YouTube anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, crazy. But I just started doing some practice voiceover videos on certain characters that I really like and collaborating with some people, like one of my friends, Hyper Voice Acting. He's been doing the Shindig for, I want to say, almost 15 years now. And a few others, like in the Sonic community. And a few other fan communities that I was a part of for a while. And what just helped me to really want it to be my biggest profession is being behind the mic and being a character that I could use with my own voice and I don't have to use as much physicality. Mm-hmm. It just really helps me to express myself as a person because I am on the spectrum. So sometimes people who are autistic tend to be very out there, especially me. And not everybody likes that. It's a whole different subject, but basically sometimes it's hard for me to express myself through just simple words or just speaking to people. Like, I can write them down easily, but there just doesn't feel like there's as much emotion to writing. Like, yes, you can put some emotion to writing if you really put your heart into it. But with voiceover work and even with singing, that's what really helps me to feel good and just tell the world who I really am. And that is a person who can do all these really cool voices and can express myself through my voice.
Nice.
That was really well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
yeah, that's just what I really, really love about this journey.
Yes, and it's most of us do come from that theater background, so good to hear somebody else from that. We were the ones that would mimic the voices and get in trouble in the back of the class generally. I think most of us probably.
I can also empathize on the not on. Again, I understand the words when I. Can you tell? Can you tell?
Yes.
But I had a similar experience of my words never could communicate what I was either thinking or feeling. And the way I would describe it was I'm trying to shove a beach ball through a plug socket of I've got all this stuff up here and I can't get it out this way. And I can empathize with that in that was also a factor for me when I wanted to do voice acting as well. So I understand to a degree.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I have to mention real fast, just because you brought it up, Zamoody. You mentioning that just triggered a memory of me in 7th grade. I was once given detention for imitating SpongeBob SquarePants.
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks, Mrs. Charlotte.
There you go. And now it's a career.
Now I'm making a career.
Well, okay. So we've got the basis of how you started. How did you? What equipment? Oh, because everybody always wants to know, what equipment did you start with?
I think the very first thing I started, like the very, very first thing, like my very first video was just my computer mic. But then I saw through a different video that one of the things I could use as a better alternative, not the greatest alternative, but a better one, is the game like Guitar Hero or Rock Band?
Yeah. Yes.
Like they had those microphones. Yeah, I used that and I covered a sock over it so that way I could, have a little more like a bit of a pop filter.
Yeah.
And it was honestly just the coolest thing at the time. Like I got to put my own big giant pink sock over this thing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like Paramore. She has like the carrot microphone. You had your own version.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
So when you started your YouTube back in 2013, is that my understanding?
Yes, that's correct.
What was it about?
I mean, I mostly just wanted to do like random things that pertain to voice acting, but it eventually developed into a channel where I did mostly comic dubs. Like for the first, I want to say a couple of years, it was about Sonic comic dubs because that's what I was really into back in the day.
Okay.
Then I tried hopping into a different fandom like Undertale. Oh, and I also did, so I don't really do it as much, but I used to play the violin. I still have it in my closet, actually. But I would always do like covers of certain songs. In fact, I think for the 20th anniversary of The Nightmare Before Christmas, I just played all the songs on my violin. No matter how hard it was, I just went for it, and it was a great experience.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, it was mostly about comic dubs. One's about Sonic, one's about Undertale. For the longest time, and this is what people knew me for back in the day, I did a lot of Bendy and the Ink Machine stuff, and it was all the rage, and it got me to like a really high follower count. But
nice,
yeah, it was just all the rage, and it kind of got to a point where I don't want to like get into like certain drama or whatnot, but I kind of just lost interest after a point, so. I started trying to like do just whatever came to mind, like for example, singing videos, like song covers, or I'm actually working on my own original project at the moment, and Renara is actually a part of it too. It's called Tales of Annualia.
Okay.
Yes, I'll get into detail for that in just a second.
Sure.
But yeah, it basically started off with comic dubs, but then it became like just a different arrangement of things that could just showcase my voice, whether it's song covers, audio dramas. I tried doing a few animatics at the time, and even one of them I collaborated with a friend on, but yeah, that was basically what my channel was about. I used to go by Jordan the Cat 11, but nowadays I just use my actual real name because I'm trying to get my name out there more, basically, being more serious about it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that like to keep their name anonymous. I can understand both sides of it. I've always been very open with my name and no issues. So props to you for doing that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you've got your equipment. Did you ever do any of the audition stuff, or did you just stay mainly with what you were creating?
I did some auditions on the side, mostly for friends, but I don't think I got into doing more paid work until, like, I want to say more recently, like during the pandemic, because, I'm currently working at a retail job and I'm trying to find something better, but I actually went to school for illustration and graphic design because I do love drawing, and I know I can do some really good layout and logo designs.
Kind of test.
But I don't think that's what I want to do, like, as my biggest dream. Like, I think that's something I would like to do, like, to replace what I've got right now. That'll be hopefully something for another day. But I'm sorry, I completely forgot what the question was. Can you repeat it for me?
No. I was just talking about the audition process and if you've done anything else other than...
Okay. Audition process. So, I know I did most of my auditions and even held most of my auditions back on Casting Call Club, back when it was all the rage.
Yeah!
Okay, yeah.
I think I was actually one of the first beta testers for it, if I remember correctly, because this was back when it first opened up.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had, like, friends, audition for it, and even some people that I haven't met before, like for different comic dubs, even for, song covers, and it was quite an experience getting to collaborate with all these different people because, the internet is a big place, and you never know who you're going to meet and who's just going to work out for you perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Access to the world.
Any experience with a pay-to-play site?
What is it?
The voices.com. Have you tried that? Voices123. Any
the ones
opinions
you pay
or any experience?
to have access to stuff.
Right.
Okay, so I don't have voices.com. I think I tried Voices123, or at least I have an account on it, but I haven't, like, tried any auditions for it. However, I think the closest thing that I've gotten compared to those two is Backstage.
Okay.
And I currently do audition for stuff like that, so I have it set to, like, certain criterias. That way, it can be the right role for me, and I'm not, like, accidentally picking something that isn't meant for me or something that is going to be too difficult for me. So it really helps that I can have those options and be able to, like, not just send in my resume or my demo reel, but to be able to do the auditions as well. I know not every single profile page does that, but when it does happen, it's a good opportunity. So I would say if you're really, really wanting to, if you have the money and time for it, I would recommend Backstage. Like, it does cost money to get these auditions. Like, I did have to pay, like, I think $100 for 1 year, but I felt like it was money well spent because I managed to find the time to actually do those auditions during my free time, because then I had more opportunities. Like, I mostly try to scout for things on Twitter more nowadays, but at least I have something as a backup in case there's nothing at the moment when I'm trying to, do my my recording days.
Gotcha.
You have several pots to go between, so there's always something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to ask about Backstage because I myself am currently subscribed to it, and I know our last guest, Seth Jones, he's currently on it, and that's actually how I found him for the show.
Oh, okay.
But if I recall, I believe he had said that he's not had a super, rather he has not been able to find as much voice work on Backstage as other places, such as, like Voices123 or Voices.com. So how has your experience been with that, given that you recommend signing up for Backstage?
I guess I should also reiterate, I don't use it as often as, like, say, Twitter. I, like, probably use it, like, maybe every couple of weeks, but I would say my experience with it has been pretty good so far. Like, I haven't gotten any roles, but at least it's given me an opportunity to audition.
Nice.
Sure. Have you found a lot of, like, voiceover spots there? Because I oftentimes find when I am searching for voiceover work through Backstage, it's a lot of, like, in-person stuff as opposed to remote recording. Is that your experience as well?
I will say this. There is an option in the settings where you can have it to just remote work only. Like you could exclude in-person work. And I think that's what made it a little bit easier for me to find remote work as opposed to in-person work.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. I believe I have mine set to both just because similarly to you, you're probably near a big hub like New York City. Same with me, where I'm only a few hours drive away. So, no, I wanted to pick your brain about that because I have not, I guess I haven't been applying myself to backstage as much as I probably should when it comes to voice acting. However, whenever I do look there and I'm looking for auditions, I don't really find a whole lot, or at least nothing that would allow me to work remotely. And if I do, they're usually unpaid. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like, this is merely a suggestion, but maybe try, if you're able to do this next time, like have it set to, paid work, not even stipend paid, but just paid. And have it exclude, physical locations and see what you get from there, like if it's any different or not.
Sure. Okay, that's a good idea. I will definitely take that into mind.
Yeah, that's what I think that's probably where the thing lies, like, because you said you have it both remote and, physical. I would try doing the remote one only just to see if it's any different or not. And if it's not, then it could just vary from person to person.
Sure. Well, thank you for coming on our advice show and giving advice. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Objective fulfilled. All right.
XP. Does that mean we will level up at the end?
Yes, it's the end of the season. So we've gained enough XP now. We can. This joke is going nowhere. Zamoody, please take over.
It's the heat.
I'm going to let you stew for a second, just so you learn your lesson on that one.
We've unlocked the ability to do dungeons now. Boom, there's the joke.
Okay.
Where's all my MMO bros at? Come on.
If that joke hit, please put it in the comments. We'd love to see if it actually, got somebody.
I'm going to get so much slander.
Oh my God.
That's funny. Jordan, so what was your first role? What's the role that you remember that you got first?
Are you talking about original roles or fan roles or just,
First one that you got hired.
Okay.
Or, sorry, externally hired by somebody else that you got.
Okay, I guess I'll divide this into separate categories just in case. But as far as like roles for fan projects that I've gotten hired for, I have this old lifetime friend. Her name is Amber, and I remember back in the day she was doing Sonic comics as well before her channel got taken down for various reasons. But I think my first role that was not on my own channel, I voiced Princess Elise from Sonic Hedgehog 2006.
Nice.
It was interesting, I gotta tell you.
Oh, that sounds like a story. Are we allowed to hear the story or no?
It was basically just a comic that parodied like the kissing scene, if you know what I mean. Really?
Okay.
And
we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, oh man, Elise has been taken to jail.
Oh no.
That's all I'll say on the. Yeah, it was weird, but yeah.
That's the fastest I've ever seen Renara pull the shoot on a conversation ever, by the way. So congratulations on that. That's much appreciated.
Yes, good job.
Don't choke.
Careful. But so that was my first fan role.
Okay.
My first original role was actually a little more recent.
Ooh,
I believe. Yeah. So this was for it's still in progress, but I can at least talk about it since he's been releasing clips of it. So,
okay.
My new client / friend, Mongo Pangolin, he is currently working on a Animaniac style like cartoon called Celine and Cheswick.
Okay.
That became my very first voiceover role for a cartoon character that wasn't, from a fan base that's, from a fan project.
Yeah.
I think I got the audition 2, maybe 3 years ago. Like, a friend recommended me to him because basically we used to work in a few projects together for another comic book artist, and we did little comic dub work for her. And when Bryson, I'll say his name, Bryson, found out that from Nick that I was doing voiceover work and that we did it together, and he recommended me, he figured he'd give me a try to voice this character. And through a little bit of a lengthy process, the audition, I won't lie, I got the part, and I was super duper happy for it. And I'm honestly really excited to show this cartoon to you guys, because the way that he's been working on these little things, like, he's doing this mostly on his own, so it is taking a long time, but for having to do it pretty much on his own, it's really impressive, and I think it's going to be worth the wait. So, and the best part is that this is pretty much, at the moment, the only voiceover project that I'm doing with my lifelong friend, Steven, aka Hyper Voice Acting.
Yeah.
So, the fact that we both get to be these two characters together is so much of a joy, and I'm so happy.
Oh, wow.
Having a shared journey. Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question pertaining to because obviously Tales of Annualia, we spoke about it earlier, and it would be remiss of me if I didn't want to bring it up. First of all, I'd love to know how that started. How that started for you? Like, where did the idea come from? How did the big process begin? And we can go from there.
Sure. So, I want to say it kind of just started with making different characters first before the actual story came into place. So back when I was in the Bendy fandom, there was this artist that I followed, and she made these adoptables. Oh, actually, I should say he. Sorry. He made these adoptables.
Mistakes happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He made these adoptables, and one of them was a little mime girl named, and I thought it was so cute that I said, hey, I would like to buy this, and I got her, and I made her my own character. Her name is Mimi Mimica. She is so cute. She's 8 years old, and she speaks in sign language, so I figured that would be a cute way to have her communicate with people, especially because nowadays, like, I don't see a whole lot of sign language in media, so I feel like that would be a good way to have her communicate with people in the series. And then I want to say it was, let me think about this, 3 years ago? Like, a little more than 3 years ago, but this was the very beginning of 2020. So, my friends and I, we were doing a commentary recording on the remake of Medieval. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's about this medieval soldier who, unfortunately, was the first to die in the war between the kingdom and this evil wizard named Zarek. Okay. And he comes back to life as this skeleton who only has his upper jaw and his lower one is missing. So he's like, and it's so iconic. He's such an iconic character. But there was a level with the Scarecrow fields, and I saw this really cool Scarecrow enemy design, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm just going to be frank, I love creature and monster designs. They are super fantastic. And when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if I should make my own Scarecrow character. And then a day later, lo and behold, Hector Scarborough, the main anti-hero, was born.
Yep, nice.
Wow.
And he's become my baby ever since. And then later on, my friend Steve and I, we decided to basically, with my permission, he created his own character that wasn't exactly like an adversary to Hector, but just someone who was more sweet and innocent and just so friendly, whereas Hector, he's so reclusive, so grouchy, and he just doesn't want anything to do with anybody. And if you step on his lawn, he will fucking kill you.
Nice.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
I first off, let me take a quick break from the interview. I apologize, Dorino.
That's okay.
Bathroom.
Yeah, so apparently Dorino... Yeah, we're at
to use the bathroom.
So we're at that point of the show.
Thanks,
I will
Agent
also
47.
say, hashtag support your friends.
Yes.
For those of you that remember what I mentioned earlier, and we'll go from there for a continuation. So the Tales of Annualia is this. So you kind of talked about where it all came from. Where is it played? Is it a YouTube video or where can one go watch it?
All right, so I will reiterate, it is currently a comic book / YouTube series.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, there are a few different kinds of media for this. Comic dubs, audio dramas, and we also did try animatics at one point. Mm-hmm. I think we might come back to it on occasion someday, but mostly it's comic dubs and audio dramas and an actual webtoon comic itself.
Mm-hmm.
But, just going back a bit, so we started writing and drawing different stories for our characters, me and Steve. And then it wasn't until 2021, I think of almost July, I want to say, that there was this person who I was in a project with, a different one, and they reached out to me, I'm so sorry, and they asked if I wanted any help with any of my projects. So I said to them, hey, do you think maybe you could help me with this one? And that was where we constructed, the world and the story of it, what the name was. We came up with Tales of Annualia because every single character is pretty much telling their own story. Mm-hmm. And I called it Annualia because every single land in this world has its own season. For example, in the western region is where all the harvesters of the fall region reside. So, like trick-or-treaters, those who really
Halloween.
like, the harvest.
Yeah.
You have the northern region, which is where the snow people live. They're very friendly. They're very big about Christmas, stuff like that. The eastern region is the spring region. It's where you can go to, grab a coffee, get some costumes, and it's just a nice little quaint place to go to. Mm-hmm. And then you have the summer region, which is pretty much all a beach, and all the mermaids live there, and they're a little bit on the vain side, but some are better than others. And there's a whole lot more to it, but yeah, what I basically am trying to tell is a story about this little mime girl who actually came to life through her creator / father's pen and paper and a wish. And that wish brought her to life. And he wants to basically, showcase her to the world. But because she's so fragile, he's very worried about her. Mm-hmm. So then it comes to a point where Mimi is kind of having to face that because the world is a pretty dangerous place. He's being very protective of her and wants her to stay inside. Mm-hmm. But after making her own wish, a fairy transports her into this magical place so that she can be able to live her best life and make friends and learn some new life lessons along the way. Because even though she's pretty smart on her own, she's still just a kid, so she has a lot to learn from these people.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really neat.
That is,
nice.
absolutely.
It's lovely.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And then you and Renara, you got involved in this project as well?
Yes.
How did that all come about?
I'm going to let Jordan.
Sure.
Tell us how that started.
Okay, so I will say this. I've been scouring for different kinds of voice actors for this project, and basically, there is going to be an upcoming audio drama for this particular story, but there is a clown troupe called the Merry Andrews. It's basically just one little big quirky family of clowns who really love and support each other. And then there's the ringmaster, which Renara plays. Her name is Madame Malesia. Mm-hmm. She is very pretty, very stoic, and kind of a bitch.
Absolute bitch. Absolute asshole. It was like, I felt so bad. But then I also didn't feel so bad because I was like, I'm in character. But then outside of character, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah. I'm just going to warn you in advance, Renara, this woman is an asshole. And
give it to me. I can be cruel. I just will apologize profusely in the Discord afterwards.
No worries. I will give you all the cyber hugs you need to feel better.
Thank you. I need as much as I can for my back currently.
Yeah, yes. Of course.
How did it all come about, though? Where did you meet Renara from?
So I found her on Twitter. I saw her demo reel. And when I heard her take, I was like, you know what? I think I could use her for a voice. And that's when I came up with, I think actually that's when I came up with Madame Malesia because of you. And this has happened before.
Okay,
this has
cool.
happened before. I was in the process of looking for voice actors and, just trying to follow new people. And another one that I'll mention, his name is Paul Green Dennis. He is really, really good at his work. He's been doing this for a few years now. He usually does audio dramas. And I will say this because it's currently in beta. He is the voice of Ray in the game My Friendly Neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I first heard his voice, I'm like, I need to put him in this audio drama. And then, lo and behold, I created the best werewolf doctor / dad, Olkin Monkrieger. So
okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
Sorry, run that by me one more time. Werewolf doctor / dad.
He is a proud father of 2 little pups.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Fascinating.
I can't wait to tell that more, but yeah, like how it works is like some of it is from, me just asking people. Some of it comes from discovering it later on. And then others I do auditions for. And actually, I will say this. So my current girlfriend, Jazzy Oliver, I first met her when I held auditions for Tales of Annualia. And she got the part for Soren Baddington, one of the main characters. And then later on, I kind of wanted to talk to her a little more, get her to know her better, and then eventually we kind of started going out and falling in love with each other. So had it not been for Tales of Annualia, I never would have met her.
Nice.
That, again, that's just a sort of shared thing of you never know what's going to happen further down the line.
Yep.
We wouldn't have, well, literally, our current story is I met these two simply by leaving a nice review on Zamoody's work, and then Zamoody reached out to me. It's like those butterfly effect things of you start one thing and then it just grows from there. So that's just, that made me all feel all warm and fuzzy. That's such a sweet story.
Thank you so much.
So, and it's funny because we did mention that one of the themes for the season seemed to have been networking. You seem to be very good at this. Any tips for those of us that are like networking impaired that we don't? How would you go about? I mean, obviously you're very comfortable with. Is it Twitter that you're mostly reaching out with?
Yeah, mostly Twitter. Sometimes I don't go on it as much as I used to, but I'm trying to get back on like sites like Tumblr. Stuff like that. But my advice is just, if you really want to collaborate with someone or want to just get to know more people, don't be afraid to reach out. It can be hard, but just simply saying, hello, I like your voice work, and just making them feel that, making them feel special, giving them a warm welcome really does help to make a difference. And it can be a little hard, especially for someone with anxiety like myself, but if you just give yourself the courage to talk to them more, you can eventually do something really good with them. And don't be afraid to say, hey, would it be okay if I had you, try out for this? And most of the time, the worst they're going to do is say no. But most of the time, they're going to say yes, because who doesn't love doing voice work?
This is true. This is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
We got about
concise advice. This is Good.
We got about 5 minutes left in the interview, so I want to make sure that we hit. I know, right? It's already to that point. I always like to ask our guests a couple of questions, so I'm going to go with the first one here. If you were able to go back at the beginning of your journey back in 2013 and give yourself advice, what advice would that be?
I would definitely say to myself, just have fun. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. And just overall, you're doing great.
I love that.
Yeah, I love
Nice. I love the positive reinforcement behind it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you get a lot of people going, so how do I get into voice acting? And if so, what advice would you give them?
So I don't get a lot of people asking me these nowadays, but on the occasion that I do, I say to them, if you want to get into voice acting, do some research, look up maybe how to do, how to like maybe try theater, maybe how to, practice certain ranges, discover what you can do basically with your voice. And if one doesn't work, that's okay. You could try something else. And just don't be afraid to, reach out to other people for advice.
Love that. That's very good. Yeah. Co-hosts, final questions?
Renara.
Has there been a role or audition that you've seen and either life circumstances have gotten in the way and you've missed it? Has there been anything that what's the main one that kind of you regret not grabbing?
So unfortunately, there was a singing role for the I'll just say this. There was a singing role for an Ace Attorney song project. And I did audition for it, but unfortunately, and I got a call back, but unfortunately, I couldn't really find the time to make that call back because I think it was under two circumstances. A, I was sick with a sore throat, and B, I was about to go on family vacation, so I had to tell them that I needed to step down. But I did thank them for the opportunity. So I know there's going to be a lot more, opportunities where I can be in an ensemble or just do singing in general. So I consider it as like a good learning experience and not a total loss.
Nice.
And it's why I asked the question, not to put anyone uncomfortable, but I do find it's important for others to hear, hey, we've all had that experience. We all got something in our journey that we will have missed something or other. And that happens, and it's okay. It's okay. Like you said, Jordan, it's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Eldurrino?
I have two questions.
Okay.
The first one, I'm actually really thrilled to ask this question because, again, triggering memories that have been locked away for quite some time. So per your resume, I see you were a part of Once Upon a Mattress, which is a comedic version of The Princess and the Pea. So I think it looks like you were just part of the ensemble. So you're kind of like the background characters, right?
Yeah, so I was in Once Upon a Mattress. I was mostly ensemble, but I did have a small part. I was one of the maidservants to help basically the princess to get ready. But also, the best part, there is a moment where my character has a nervous breakdown and I'm just laughing so hysterically. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm going to die. Absolutely. And then I scream, die! And everyone's just laughing their asses off, including some of the co-actors in the background. And the one guy is like, get yourself together, woman. I'm like, if she doesn't pass, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love it.
That's awesome.
That's wow. That is so much better than the version that I did. Honestly, that play was the first one that I did in high school and kind of what got me into acting. And my part obviously was just ensemble. I was literally just a background dancer, background singer back when I couldn't sing to save my life. But no, it's really interesting. I saw that name come up and I was like, I was a part of that too. Like, and I wanted to know about your experience with it. But I mean, your story tops any I could even think of from that.
Aw.
So my second and last question for you is, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Oh, okay. Bacon.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. We like
Good
bacon.
choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. This hour flies by, and unfortunately,
Really did.
hopefully, if we'd love to have you back at some point. If we have any additional, if you got anything going on, let us know. We'd love to put a little bit more time. And thanks again.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. This was honestly a nice experience, and thank you, Renara, for recommending me. That was very sweet of you.
Yeah.
I knew I had to get you on at some point. I felt it, and I knew it would be good, and it has been.
So just to reiterate, thank you so much, everybody who was here. Thank you, Fire and Brimstone, who was in chat. Anybody else who was lurking in the background, we appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, any comments you want us to talk about for the next season, please email us, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com, or join the Discord. The link is in the description. Come on in and hang out. You can ask us questions. We have a good network of award-winning actors. We have some people that do production. We have, award-winning actor. Sorry,
singular. At the minute.
Absolutely. So we'd love to direct your questions somewhere. I know Eldurrino has done some audio troubleshooting for people, and we absolutely appreciate everybody who puts in their time. Although the main reason that we want this is we want your audio. We want to listen to something you're working on. We want to listen to an audition or a demo reel that you're putting together, and we'll be more than happy to offer our 2 cents on it. And we do it in a constructive manner. We don't bite. At least if we do, it's for a reason. And we've all bitten each other, and we've made sure that we've improved because of it.
We are here for you. We are here for you.
Yeah.
Come on down.
The whole reason we get together once a week is not only to support each other, but for us to share these experiences, and hopefully you hear other people's journeys and maybe inspire you into taking up this career in the future. So again, to another season, I just want to say thank you to our co-host. Thank you to our guest, Jordan represented today. We appreciate you guys just following us along, and hopefully bigger and better things for the next 6 months.
See what the journey holds for us next season, guys.
Yeah.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. Hashtag community.
I would see that movie.
Oh no, the idea's out now. That means it's, oh God. Okay,
no.
let's see.
I was
Let's
totally
see.
ripping off Community. That's all.
Yeah.
You say that, Eldurrino.
Yeah.
What was the last couple of seasons of what I was writing for the intros?
What?
We'll see.
Well, with all that said and done, let's close up another season. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Remember to drink your water.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes.